black girl from Senegal. She come back to daddy when I Senegal. Daddy at the general. Have to pay the lawyer just to stay out the federal. Big man pull up like a Senegal. Big gold chain on me neck, me and several. Make the girl hyper. Have to settle down. Ginseng roof for the second round. Knock out in the girl. Rubber man take a gun. Different level. Yo, welcome to Disagreeable. This is Disagreeable. I am Disagreeable. You know, you see the title of the show, no plans. We'll see if anybody pulls up. If they don't, it is what it
Shit.
Shit.
Zandrius on YouTube.
If Satan is real, or if demons are real, if they really are a real thing, and these occultists really can summon them, do you know how fucking terrifying that would be? Just to find out that's real. But isn't that like the old saying, the greatest thing that Satan's ever done?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And I look at the world we're in right now, Joe, and everything going on, and to me it's hard to believe that there ain't something meddling or something, you know what I mean? It's just
something pulling on the strings.
There's some dark energy right now
of human behavior, right? Like, what would cause someone to want to embrace Satanism?
Well, I find it very remarkable that they were willing to share the strategy that Satan is working on with this group. Of course, their plan was that it would never get out.
That's right.
Under seal of death.
That's right. Their plan is that you don't have to worry about saying anything about the Great Master. Because as soon as anybody strays some, the spirits will tell the high priest right away what's taking place. They did with my Bible study by Wednesday night. I studied on Monday and Tuesday. By Wednesday night, the spirit counselor appeared to the high priest and says, you have one of your defectors. He says, that Mono guy, you're going to get rid of him. Because he's out there studying the Bible with the Adventists. The people that the Master hates most on the face of the earth.
What you are about to see is one of the most important interviews I have come across during my 15 years of research into the supernatural and occult. It is an absolute must-see to understand the reality behind the subjects of ghosts, demons, and the so-called globalists. The man being interviewed is Roger Morneau. In his youth, he was recruited by a secret society of elites that turned out to be deeply involved in spirit worship and engaged in the occult and supernatural. Everything that Roger reveals in this interview comes from his experiences in the early 1940s, and he made some frighteningly accurate predictions about global events that are taking place now. This interview was recorded in the mid-90s.
He told me, hey, I got something fantastic to tell you. He said, I am affiliated with people that speak with the spirits of the dead. How would you like to talk to the spirit of your dead mother? And I was shocked. I was shocked. He said, you wouldn't be afraid of talking to the spirit of your dead mother, would you?
While still
well,
a
I said,
young
I'll tell
man
you
in the
what, I
city
would
of
have to give that some
Montreal,
thought.
Roger
Something
Morneau
I never
became
thought about
involved
before
in the
my
worship
life.
of demons. In this two-part series, Roger gives us a first-hand account of his harrowing brush with the powers of darkness and, ultimately, his divine rescue. Conducting this exclusive interview are Dan and Karen Houghton of Heart Research Center. Let's now join the Houghtons and Roger Morneau as we together enter Part 1 of a trip into the supernatural.
How in the world did you ever get involved in praying to demon spirits?
Well, when I came out of the Navy after World War II, I was looking to take up a trade in Montreal, Canada. And at that time, I ran across a fellow that had been on a particular ship with me. And he said, "Hey, Mono, you're alive. How nice to meet you." He says, "Let's have a dinner tonight." I said to my boss, "Can I have the evening off?" Because I was the assistant to the Windsor bowling alleys and billiard, you know. It's the high-class place in Montreal where all the dress manufacturing people go and relax. So I got the evening off, and I went out. We went out and had dinner. He told me, "Hey, I got something fantastic to tell you." He said, "I am affiliated with people that speak with the spirits of the dead. How would you like to talk to the spirit of your dead mother?" And I was shocked. I was shocked. He said, "You wouldn't be afraid of talking to the spirit of your dead mother, would you?" Well, I said, "I'll tell you what, I would have to give that some thought, because it's something I never thought about before in my life."
Most of us probably haven't. A little afraid of something like that.
Well, he says, you know, it's written all over your face. You're afraid of going to a seance. But he says, "I know you. He said, you're going to come." And then he started to tell me how brave I was when I was aboard ship, you know, different things. He says, "You're not the same man. You're changed. You're chicken." That's all I needed to hear. I said, "When do we go to a seance?" So one Saturday evening, we were in the place. It was the very first time. Very beautiful place. The medium was a lady. She had a gorgeous new home in Montreal. And there were about 20 invited guests there, which I was one of them. And she communicated with the spirits for different people there, and telling them what the spirit said. And then there was one lady that had been talking almost continually before the seance started, and she didn't believe in the dead appearing and all of this and all that. And she said, "Well, I would have to see my dead sister," she says, "to believe it." So while this the seance was going, one man said, "I would like to talk to my friend that died 6 months ago, but I don't want him to appear. Just want to talk to him, because he says, I don't trust you talking to my friend for me." It
sounds like he owes him money.
The medium says, "Let me inquire of the spirit." Yeah, the spirit will talk with you. And that big masculine voice was heard in the place. It says, "Hi, Frank. It's nice of you to ask for me to talk with you." And they had a little chat. And after it was over, Frank says, "This is the greatest thing on earth, to be able to talk with the spirits of the dead." Then the medium said, "We have a very special surprise."
You know, the whole mediumship and the speaking to the spirits of the dead thing is always kind of crazy to me. But maybe because everybody thinks they're special and different. But maybe I'm a little different, because if I'm dead and I'm released, and let's say your consciousness still survives after the physical is dead, and I'm released from this flesh prison, you think I'm going to be hanging around to talk to you dumb niggas on Earth? he's like I'm just waiting around to pick up spiritual telephones and shit like that. Get the fuck out of here.
Surprise tonight for you people. A spirit will manifest itself openly here in a few minutes, and it's like a big gust of wind hit the building and right through the wall. Now the lights weren't terribly bright, but they were like living room lights, a couple of floor lamps and maybe some of these, and that translucent being seemed to come right out of the wall.
How did you feel right at that moment?
It's almost like my heart stopped a little bit. You know, very weird feeling. So it was a lady in a beautiful evening gown, swirling. And she said to Mary, "My dear sister, you are so wonderful to have asked for me." And Mary fainted and fell right off her chair on the floor. And a couple of guys jumped up and picked her up, and spirit gone. And that was the beginning of it.
That's how you got into it.
Yeah, that's the way I got into it. After a while, you see, there's something interesting about the human mind. You can adjust an awful lot of stuff. You can adjust to a lot of things that would terrify you to begin with. After a while, they become common and ordinary.
So you mean contact with the supernatural can become commonplace and ordinary and doesn't bother anybody?
Yeah.
In other words, the more that you do it, you're not uncomfortable.
That's
it's
right.
just not an uneasy feeling.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about it?
Then I
after
got
that?
into a secret society that worshiped the spirits, you see. That
Well,
was
okay,
different.
now how is that different from the seance, Roger?
It happens that the seance are not involving in many ways. But when you get into a secret society of spirit worshippers, then, and especially when you're invited there by the direction of the higher-ups in the spirit world, you never get out of there alive.
Oh no, we're embarrassed. We screwed up. Our warehouse is overloaded with survival food kits, but our mess is your gain. You win.
And this is exactly what my friend and I were up against. We didn't know anything about it. And there was a very, very popular big band leader.
Jazz musician?
band, yeah. Very famous. He played a lot in Montreal, Canada, Vancouver, the big cities. And one night we went to one of these seances, and he was with his wife. Now the spirits had told him what to do. Spirit told him, there's two of these guys, give the names, and your wife will want to talk, we'll make it so that your wife will want to talk to the medium when you say that you want to go home because you're tired. As soon as you see that these guys are starting to want to leave, then leave with them at the same time. And as you get outdoors, you ask them if they're driving. They'll say, no, they're going to take the tramway a couple blocks away. Well, you invite them to get in your car with you, and that you will take them to a fancy restaurant and treat them to some good food and talk about the merchant navy. And that's what the guy did. And there we were in this plush restaurant, pulled into a little alley, and I can still see it like it was yesterday. Just enough room to pass the car, back alley, that happened to give on a restaurant that was on St. Catharines Street, which is the main street of Montreal. And that was quite an evening.
So Roger, you're at this restaurant. What happened?
Well, after we were seated, in entering there, the place was just full, packed tight. But there was a couple of tables against a wall that had a reservation sign on it. And the owner of the place recognized the band leader and came and said, good evening, and you gentlemen want a table. So you're one of the reserved people. So we sat there, and we had our favorite alcoholic beverages, you know. And as we talked, the band leader says, how long have you fellas been involved with sorcery? And he shocked us a little bit. And I said, exactly what do you mean? Well, he said, you know, what you people are doing, talking to the supposed spirits of the dead. He says, this is silly.
And this man had been at the seance with you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And he's telling you that it's silly what you've just done.
Because see, my wife, he says, goes to these seances because she gets comfort and she gets something good out of it, good feeling out of it. And she lives for what the spirits are going to see that the future is going to be like. To me, he says, I can't bother with this stuff. He says, I want power. I go right to the source of power.
No offense, but if you're
Straight to the source.
And he says, how do you think that I became famous the way that I am? Well, I said, you must have had some good luck. Well, he says, there's no such thing as good luck. He says, there's either some power working for you somewhere, or you don't get ahead in this world. Not in my type of occupation. So it went from there. We got talking about spirit worship.
Did it intrigue you? Or did it make you want to find out more about what exactly he was talking about?
Yeah. So he said the supposed spirits of the dead that you're talking with are demon spirits. They're fallen angels. They're beautiful beings.
Just set it out, just like that.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't make you uneasy when he said they were
Well,
just
you know, it
demons?
shocked you a little bit, you know. Something that you first hear mentioned to you. He said, you guys have got a great future ahead of you. Because we've been told, the high priest of our society, secret society, has been told that the master has very special plans for you too.
Now, what did he mean by the master?
Satan. And we were interested to hear more about it. And he told us, he says, look, we worship spirits. We worship Lucifer and all his angels. They're just as beautiful as they did before they were cast out.
You know, like, that's the great part about being disagreeable, you know, because if I was in this situation, I don't care who it is, they're like, yo, the master has great plans for you. I'm like, for one, the master, who you call a master, nigga, that shit sounds sus. You feel me? And then, homie, you know, you be around white people, they say wild shit like that, then they're like, oh, Satan has plans for you. I'm like, nigga, how you gonna tell me that Satan's at your house and you want me to go to your house and shit? That's just crazy.
Out of heaven. He says there was a misunderstanding in the whole thing. He says among the inhabitants of the galaxies. And he says our master was misunderstood. And God did not bear with him like he does with people that make mistakes today. So we're in a warfare, good against evil. And we happen to be the evil ones, but we're not that bad. He says, I look at this business between the forces of good and evil. He says, you believe in one person believes in God, another one believes in Lucifer. It's like politics.
So the great controversy is real. And you've heard someone talk about it that's on the other side.
And to these people, they are sold to the fact that Christ will not return to this planet with power and great glory. He's going to abdicate all claims to the planet because the high priest once said that Christ will abdicate all claim to the planet because he knows that it is lawfully and rightfully Satan's. And at that time, he says, Lucifer, you mentioned Lucifer a lot of times, but he mentioned Satan also. He says, the master, usually they like to talk about the master will resurrect his people from the graves.
Now, George is telling you all this, or the high priest?
George.
Okay, when the evening wound down, and you're putting a cap on all that, you guys had consumed some alcohol.
Yeah.
And did you feel like that there was kind of a one-shot deal? You didn't know if it ever happened again? What happened after that?
He said, no, I said, listen, guys. He said, I like to have you, says, meet some of our people.
Are you ready to see your brand on TV? Your competitors will wish they had known about Vibe. With Vibe, you can...
What about next week, Wednesday evening? I'll pick you up at your place, and you're invited to one of our services.
Services? Like a church service?
Yeah, something similar like that. It's a testimonial to the spirits, how the spirits have blessed your life. See? So, when we left there, I said to myself, this guy is half drunk. I'm not going to hear from him again, you know.
Yo, what's good, Flying Low? I have no plans. We're chilling. See if we get into some interesting things, you know. Have you ever seen this interview before? It's pretty crazy. Oh my God, this is a full interview? I thought this was a chopped up joint. This bitch is an hour and 20. Fuck it, we here now. We here now.
But it was true. Wednesday night came, he was there with his big Lincoln, step in, and we went to one of the most beautiful area of Montreal. And the place was a mansion. Now, a mansion is usually very large. We call this a small mansion. It was beautiful, most beautiful place. Yeah.
Roger, your friend George took you and Roland to this mansion where people worshipped the demons.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like there? What kind of people were there?
Well, it was a big surprise for me, as I kind of made up in my mind an idea that they were going to be rough-looking characters. But as we entered the place, I was amazed to see that they were all very well dressed, well mannered, and that a lot of the people, as we were being introduced to people, were professionals, doctors, attorneys, a lot of business people. And see what they had? They had a praise session to the gods, which is the spirit counselors, which are in charge of legions of spirits, of demon spirits. And they talk about what the Lord of their lives has done for them, because they call on particular spirits, like the god Nehushtan, which you read in 2 King about. The Israelites worshipped the golden serpent that Moses had made. Mm-hmm. Well, behind the spirit worship, behind that, they were worshiping the serpent. They were actually worshiping this spirit Nehushtan. And the same spirit Nehushtan is, the priest was telling us, that the medical doctor that was telling us how he was making operations that had never been made before, because people had to be awake, and have no feeling. He was able to, carry on the surgeries that had not been done before. Mm-hmm. But the spirits would give that capacity to be able to operate without people feeling any pain and things. And also without no problem with the blood, because as he would cut his incision, because incisions.
What it do, AM1? I'm chilling. I wasn't planning on doing a show. Wasn't planning on being here. Wasn't planning on this topic, but here we are. Smoking a joint, drinking green tea, watching, what's this nigga's name again? I can find this nigga's name. But this guy breaks down like a communication with the spirit world or whatever, So, I know a lot of people aren't into that. They think it's all malarkey, But I think this is a very good interview. He lays it out very well. Let me not even say he lays it out well. What the fuck is he laying out? If you have discernment, you can tell when somebody is just like an actor, somebody's trying to convince you or something, or somebody just like a real nigga telling you what it is. You feel me? Like, yo, he's like, it is what it is, B. But I digress. Let's go.
Everything open and with no blood running. Mm-hmm. So you could do the work that has not been done before.
I want to know, have you made this mistake with your holster?
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I heard it clicking on the fuck out with BS.
Now, I recall reading in your book that at this praise worship service they had, they would sing hymns. Why would they sing hymns in a demon worship?
Yeah, this was kind of a big surprise to me when that took place. The priest said, hey, let's go down to the worship room of the gods and have a praise session, a singing session. So we go down there, and what did you think they pass around? Church hymnals. Christian church hymnals. And I couldn't believe this. I said, what's his business? So the priest says, well, now, he says, for those of you that are new, let me tell you that this is the most feasible way, he says, to please the spirits. It's to deride Christ and his people, and his church and all that. So they sing out of...
Oh, and let me make something clear for anybody who's in here listening right now. I am not some type of religious zealot or Desert Insanity cult member. You feel me? Just because this guy is recounting his experience does not mean that I believe in this tug of war between Satan and God and these niggas kicking it together. But God's in control and Satan gotta ask God what to, all that shit's fucking retarded. You feel me? All I'm doing is observing phenomena. You feel me? I don't care what they call it. I don't care what kind of theater they're caught up in. It could all be some type of psyop on all these motherfuckers to perpetuate this religiosity, to bring forth. And if AM1 is still in here, he'll know what I'm talking about because I know he'd be at Archaic's channel. You know, I really can't be around Archaic's channel anymore. I can't deal with that cult tribalism and this fucking. It's weird. It's weirdo shit over there. You feel me? But you'll understand what I'm saying about the religious radicalism, that they're trying to push forward. You feel me? Like Christian radicalism, Jewish radicalism, fucking Islamic radicalism. They don't care what it is. As long as you get into one of these little alien farms, then they're good. You feel me? So now, I'm simply observing phenomena. Excuse me. I'm simply observing phenomena. I don't know what is the inner workings of all this shit. You feel me? Even when it comes down to flat science, I fuck with, like, when it comes to physics and friend sciences and plasma, cold fusion sciences and shit like that. I fuck with Ashton Forbes, you know? He seems like a very genuine person. But here's the thing. The social engineering and the government is deep as shit. You won't even know that the motherfuckers are spinning you and shit. You won't even know that you are caught up in some web of lies. You think it's reality. You feel me? That's why I believe in myself, my own discernment, and I don't believe shit. You feel me? I don't even believe that AM1's here. I don't even believe health information. You feel me? Why? Because I need to observe it. You feel me? My body is my laboratory, and I can perform these experiments. Pause. Sounds sus. I can perform these experiments to see what results I get with myself. You feel me? So I don't need to believe in anybody's regimens or this or that. But some things are common sense. Flying Low's here. Flying Low says mockery is a thing they love to practice. I feel you, Flying Low. Okay, Flying Low. Here's one of it. I know how deep the theater goes. You feel me? I know how deep the theater goes. So it's kind of like this. You ever see motherfuckers who like this? I might be one of them. You know people who are kind of like, I don't know if I believe in this religion, this or that, whatever. You feel me? But then when you look at the other side, it looks like them niggas believe in the devil. So it makes you think, since those are the bad guys on that side, I have to choose this other side, and that side, and the good side is like Jesus and shit like that, which is weird to me. Mad niggas on earth never even heard of Jesus and shit like that. They're going to hell and shit. It doesn't make sense. That's why I'm saying I'm not caught up in that. I'm just caught up in the phenomenon. Things are happening. I've had enough weird experiences and consumed enough psychedelics to know that there's something else going on. You feel me? There is this reality that we're in. I don't know what it is. I don't want to get too nerdy with it right now. We're probably everything is light, just some different vibrational frequencies and densities of light. You feel me? And we have the ability to create light out of nowhere through the excitement of electrons, which turn into biophotons. So if everything is light and we can create light out of nowhere, that kind of sounds like let there be light. You feel me? Kind of sounds like you know. Let me not go there. You feel me? We got AM1 says, imagine a supreme ultimate being allegedly having an opposing force. Okay. Does everything have an opposing force? What goes up must come down, you know? Blah blah blah. So in order for there to be a supreme being, would there need to be a protagonist? Am I saying that right? Like, yeah, I couldn't pronounce antithesis. You feel me? Where AM1 says, damned for eternity for beliefs you were never exposed to. Wild. I know, but then again, reality is not fair. We are in a consumption reality. You feel me? You have to kill to live. You have to kill to live. We're in a consumption reality, so it's not fair. So that could be a part of it. Maybe you were born. If you listen to Hebrew Israelites and shit, they say some niggas were born just to go to hell. That's crazy, yo. I mean, if you listen to Christian niggas and Hebrew Israelites, they'll be like, yeah, God hates these people, and he made those people to punish us, but he made them to go to hell and shit. I'll be like, all right, bro. You feel me? One time I was gonna get a patty from the Jamaican spot, a nigga came up to me in all types of Power Ranger gear and shit like that, trying to tell me, and this nigga has some Haitian accent or some shit like that. I'm like, yo, nigga, you a fucking Haitian trying to tell me I'm a Hebrew Israelite? Anyone says, I mean, if God is literally everything, then how could there be an opposition evil force? Okay, yeah, you're saying everything. That makes sense. Now we can okay. Let's think about that. That just means that the nigga's an asshole. You feel me? Because have you ever heard of the what is that it's like a theory or an idea of creation about how it starts from the singular and the singular split itself to know itself and blah blah blah. So if you all that there is, when you make something that there, how do you say? If you are all that there is there a chance that you would try to make something outside of yourself? Like it's like that philosophical thought exercise. Like, can God create an object too heavy for him to ever lift it? You feel me? Yes, omnipotent, omnipotent, no, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. Yes. Now back to what I just said. Can this being that is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, can this being, hypothetically, can it create an object too heavy for it to lift? It can do whatever it wants, right? Can it restrict itself? That's where shit gets weird. But I can actually speak to AM1 about this because he's into the weird shit too. So AM1, like, I'm kind of with Jason at Archaics and shit like that. Not his little faggot cracker round table he has of like weirdos and hillbillies who live vicariously through him, and they feel intelligent, trying to pretend they understand some shit that they can't break down and they can't map out. Listen to this motherfucker like they understand the calendrics or they understand the Opus system. They don't understand it. There's a motherfucker that want to sit around and go, hey, we're errands. Hey, Timmy Bear. Hey, we're errands. That shit's gay, dog. You feel me? But shout out to the information. The information is amazing. I would love to speak to Jason because I'm going to ask him the shit that people don't ask him. Yeah, the calendrics, I get it. If I want to know about the calendrics, I go to your fucking show, dog. I'm not here to promote you. You know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about your weird experiences. I want to talk about when you said you were driving and you pulled up on that town that road out of nowhere and it brought you to a town in the middle of nowhere and the people were weird. Like, I want to know all that weird shit. You feel me? But yeah, my whole point of that was like, yeah, I agree with Jason. When I feel like we might have an overlay on this reality right now, so we might have a total disconnect. If there is a supreme being or a God, we might have a total disconnect from it and not any knowing of it. You feel me? There might be some leak throughs or whatever, but I'm saying we might not have any knowing of it. Because we have how do I say it? The AIX shit. There's a layer. The system has been manipulated. So there's a Trojan horse in the system. Somebody got motherfucking malware in the system and it's using us to mine Bitcoin or some stupid shit. You know? Anyone says technically, I guess it could create the illusion or separation of limitations. So a being cannot make a rock too heavy for it to live. I guess it could create illusion or separation or limitations. See, you're adding limitations. You feel me? Because I feel like our logical mind, as humans, you're trying to wrap your mind around the idea. You feel me? Sometimes you don't need to wrap your head around the idea. How do I say? If you're not into occult shit, this is like a very difficult thing to get at. So, I'm just gonna leave it alone. Yeah, his shit does get culty, but I just focus on the info. Yeah, I'm kind of over the info over there. I'm kind of over it. It is what it is. It's not adding anything to my life. Shout out to him for the pattern breaking and all that shit. But the cultiness takes away from the info, meaning you need uncomfortableness in discourse to move forward, to bring forth a novelty. You need it to be uncomfortable and uncommon. If everybody's agreeing on the same shit and there's nobody giving any pushback, that means your information that was uncommon and groundbreaking and cutting edge is now common and mundane and corny and gay. You feel me? I think I'm gonna have to run this back on the playback and listen to what I just said again, because that is a great layout of what I just did. I put that shit out plain and simple. You feel me? There is no freedom of expression if you don't allow dissension. You feel me? Motherfuckers in the little tribe over there talking, do you know how much we've been attacked over here? Nigga, who the fuck is we? Jason went to jail. You niggas, we've had so many attacks and trolls and it's we. Nigga, ain't no we, nigga. That's why now, man, especially white people when they think they have some information and then, oh, here's another AM1. Let me put this out there for you too, since you're into the archaic information. I think Jason is kind of stupid, because if he takes his own premise, that means his information. If he takes his own premise, that means his information is already faulty to confirmation bias, because he says the holographic field or the AIX or whatever will show you whatever you want to see. So this nigga, so is it not interesting that when this motherfucker's researching ancient civilizations and everything, it comes out that they all look like him. Everybody, all the intelligences that change reality and all the different epochs of time that he's talking about, they all look like him. It's tall white guys with glasses and shit. You feel me? It's fucking hilarious. If an infinite time is omnipresent, if an infinite timeless, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient being is what we call God, then it could do and it's literally anything, everything by definition. Yes, exactly. That's why you need to, not you, I don't care what niggas say, do whatever you want. But that's why I focus on the idea of infinite possibility. Infinite possibility keeps your mind open, because as soon as you try to wrap your head around infinite possibility, you have cut off infinite possibility. You feel me? So, I know. I wasn't planning on talking about this on this show right now. Motherfuckers ain't trying to hear that occult infinite possibility shit. You feel me? What do you mean infinite possibility? I mean exactly what I said, motherfucker. You feel me? We have lab experiments of objects moving 8 times the speed of light. You feel me? Real infinite possibility shit. The reality is malleable. We have what did he put the instrument on the front of the Russian craft that negated gravity by putting the device on the front put out some field that agitated the electrons, causing a plasma field, and this shit just killed the drag on everything. So it. Who the fuck he's on? Yo. No, I got distracted. It's fucking door key opening, closing, dragging and shit.
So then it could only really create the illusion of limitation for its. Wait, we said this first. The culty community thing is a bit off-putting. Is a bit? You think? You feel me? Feel me? I don't worship at the foot of Jason, some skinhead cracker that was in jail for fucking 30 years. Like, just because you have some information, don't change shit, nigga. Fuck you. That's how I feel. And the thing is, I gotta put it on him because that's his community. So if you want a little community of faggots and you don't check it, that reflects reflects pretty ill on you. You feel me? And I'm starting to think that either I don't know. Either dude is just a weirdo, or he might be controlled. Because one thing I'm always skeptical of people who have like too much of a story going on. They seem too much like a character. You know what I'm saying? Let me let this rock a little bit more.
Christian hymnals.
They didn't sing Christian words to the hymns, however.
Well, they changed a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and not for the good.
It's a form of blasphemy. Yeah. Such as you see today in the rock music world. You see the entertainers, they have these crosses. Mm-hmm. Ladies got earrings, crosses. Mm-hmm. The guys got the cross. This is a form of blasphemy, a form of deriding Christ. You see, spirits cause the people to do that, to find pleasure in wearing this type of emblem, which is the cross is the emblem of the crucifixion of Christ to the Christians.
So what were your impressions the first time you went down into that worship room?
Well, it was, we'd been there maybe half a dozen times, and the high priest told us after the meeting was over, he wanted to talk to us, my friend and I. So after most people had left, he says, the master of my life has revealed to me that it is time for you people to become acquainted with the worship room of the gods. Well, we started to move toward a beautiful grand staircase. Beautiful. The banister was huge, it was massive. And the wrought iron work that they had done in it was super. The beautiful decorations on the walls, the chandelier on the first landing. See, that was the first landing. You go down about 8 or 10 steps and then you had the first landing. It was huge and beautiful. The light arrangement was the nicest I had ever seen in my life. When we got into this sanctuary area, it wasn't very brightly lit, but everything was, well, magnified the beauty of certain things. You know, like a lot of the things were gold-plated or gold trims. See, the little altars where they had the spirits that had materialized, they photographed them, and then they had paintings made of them. And there was probably about maybe 100 of those around the place.
Sort of like a shrine?
Yeah, and underneath there was a little altar where you have incense and things that they would use in their prayer sessions and things like that, devotions to certain spirits. And some of the objects in there, the priest said, were solid gold. It was a unique experience to see that.
So how did you feel when you walked into that room?
I felt that these people had power, and they had a lot of it.
Did that attract you?
Meet the Mazzato, one of the sharpest and
yes and no.
You had mixed feelings about it?
I had mixed feelings about it, yeah. Because to a certain extent, things looked so good. It sounded so good to us. But you see, I'd been brought up in a Christian home where my parents had told us we were 8 children in the family. And especially the older ones, you know. My dad says, well, you know, if you get involved in wrongdoing, you're going to have to pay the price. There's always a cost for everything in this world. So this thought kept creeping to my mind. Just how far you go with these spirits before we start paying the price. See?
So it made you just a little bit nervous.
Oh, yes.
But yet you kept going back.
or there was no way out, because that's what we're told.
You knew at that time,
Yeah.
so you were moving forward more on fear.
More on fear, yes, because the high priest said that the master had special plans for us in our lives, and that no one ever went into this society unless they were invited by the spirits. So that was made very clear. And he also expressed to us the danger, explained to us the danger of going against the will of the spirits. And he mentioned about this one man and his wife that live in a fireproof building in Montreal. The place burned right down with it.
Yo, I don't know if you're still in here, AM1, but I know you seem to be pretty up on a lot of things. So how do I say this? Okay. How do I put this forward? Okay, let's outside of religiosity or whatever. How? Okay. Going with my original premise that it's all bullshit to keep you in these little groups or whatever, controllable, your mind control, your spirituality control, all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Is it just that they're willing to go to the lengths of playing out these things to such an extreme point that you can't really ignore it? Meaning, all right, let me say it like this. Meaning, I don't believe in direct Bible stuff like that, but they are doing weird things. They are trying to make like Baphomet people and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They are trying to like mutilate people and like look, what kind of mind virus is going around where you can't even walk around and know if you see a bad bitch anymore. You don't even know if this is a bad bitch or a whole nigga. You know what? And I should pause that, but I'm not gonna pause that because that's how fucked up things are right now. And that's just on a simple level. No, that's not even simple. That's fucking gross. But what about like just everything in general, dog? The food is poison. I don't know. People. And here's the thing. People always try to say like, oh, it's always just making money. People are cutting corners. It's all about money. I don't think it's about money because you don't gotta kill everybody to make money. You feel me? Like, and make everybody as miserable as possible. Like, you can get money without doing that, you know? Just like people try to put the bullshit notion out there that only negative music sells or like a shitty gangster rap or whatever, that shit sells or whatever. Not really, because, and like, I know AM1, if you're still here, I know you're old enough to remember, there was a portion of time when most of music was like positive. You feel me? And hip hop turned from being like mostly positive, fun music to this street shit. The positive music was selling before that. You know what I'm saying? Without the support of the mainstream. So, you know what I'm getting at. It's like people don't know what they like. I guess I'm working this out, just speaking to myself right now. People don't know what they like. So they're told what to like. And then whatever they think that they like becomes their identity. So they start doing weirdo shit. Is that it?
Wait a minute. He was one of their members that had decided that, well, he wanted to think things over. He was not going to get initiated at the time that the spirit said he would like him to be initiated into the society.
So in reality, Roger, you were chosen by high-powered demon spirits to be a part of their human, special, privileged group.
You see, these people in Montreal, the society, like the priest mentioned, there's thousands of spirit worshippers in only different societies of spirit worshippers in this world. But he says we are the elite. We know the real truth about the master and his angels. And they're not hideous-looking beings. They are gorgeous creatures. And from the paintings that they had on the wall of the walls of that worship room, they were unique beings. Especially the There was a painting full size, full-length painting of the fallen Lucifer above his altar. And that was very fascinating because he looked like a man of great intellect, high forehead, the way that he looked with his eyes, the way he had the eyes looking. It gave you a depth of perception of somebody that is very, very knowledgeable and
powerful.
Powerful, yeah.
Have you seen this? It's absolutely insane. Look at the presentation on what's inside this can.
So Roger, this high priest that you talked about, he is the one that ushered you down into the worship room.
Mm-hmm.
Was he also the one that led out in the praise sessions that you talked about?
Yes, and he had an assistant also, another priest.
Okay. Now, when you would go to these praise sessions, what kinds of things happened at those sessions?
Well, there's a lot of success stories.
Positive mental attitude kinds of things?
Well, yes, a lot of success stories. The masters has done this for me and that for me. I remember one lumber dealer, he had like half a dozen different operations in the province of Quebec. And everything that he touched seemed to turn to money. You know? And he was telling about it. And then there's this other person that was a clairvoyant that would work only for the wealthy people, only for the super wealthy. He says, I have the know-how, they have the means, let them pay. So he advised in business transactions. They would come to him and say, listen, I look at this deal that I might get, this factory or whatever it is, like, because this person was interested in industrial real estate, see? And he would talk to the spirit, and then the spirit was audible to him. See, you could hear the spirit talk to him, but the man did not hear. So the spirit was telling the clairvoyant what, well, he called himself an astrologer, reading the moons and the stars and,
Now, what was the term you used for his title, this man?
Clairvoyant.
Clairvoyant.
Oh, clairvoyant.
Clairvoyant. Okay. Yes, and it was interesting. This person stood up and says, I had a nice little experience last week. And he says, the masters, he says, they take care of you. This lady and her husband brought him, to this astrologer, a bundle of money. They said, this is the deal that you... And he works at only on percentages. Only on percentages. He doesn't work for set amounts of money. Only percentages of what the people are going to make. So he said, they brought me a substantial amount of money. And they were very happy with it, and I thought it was very reasonable. But then my guide, spirit, says, ask them when they're going to give you the other $1,700 that is really yours. And he says to the folks, I would like to know now, before we leave here, when will you have the $1,700 to give me? That makes up my part of, rightful part of the deal. The wife fainted, and the husband says, we'll have the money for you within 24 hours. So that was this type of praise session.
So he was thanking the demons for helping him to know that.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is the Automatic Course Creator, and if you are looking for the fastest and most affordable way...
Demon spirits, yeah.
At what point did this demon worship start to affect you personally, Roger?
Well, it wasn't too long that the priest mentioned to us that the time had arrived for us to start trusting the spirits and give the spirits a chance to work for us. And there was a number of gifts that you could choose from, you see. And I used to play the horses, some. Not knowledgeable at all. I used to go to those bookies, play the horse every so often. But I said, hey, I would like to be able to, for the spirit to instruct me on the numbers and the name of the horses that's going to win, at Belmont or...
Flying Low says, the demon was on some don't play with my money-ish. You feel me? He was on Demon Time. I would assume so. You feel me? He was on Demon Time. He's about his Skrilla. He's about his Skrilla. Yo, the demons are about their Skrilla. You feel me? If you telling niggas they can see into the future and all that shit. No, they can't see into the future. They have what they call in the spiritual realm a bird's eye view. Because you're not stuck in this physicality, you might have a higher vantage point or a bird's eye view, which lets you see more of the landscape, but you don't see infinitely.
Some other racetracks like that, make myself a little money. So the priest says it'll be given you. And sure enough, one night whether I fell into a trance or dreamed the thing, I don't know exactly what happened, but I.
So do I gotta get into the devil club to do this, or can I just go to the casino and be like, you know what, Satan, I'm rocking. Can I just go to the Hard Rock and just be like, you know what, Satan, I'm rocking with you heavy, dog. You feel me? I got your back. You feel me? I'm with you, dog. Like, fuck all this heaven and all this bullshit. You feel me? And then I go in there, I hit the crazy jackpot. Boom. Little $250,000. Actually, I need $1 million because they're gonna take like 40% of taxes, you know? So I hit a little $1 million. I'll leave out with like a little. I'll leave out with a little 600,000 or whatever. You feel me? And then I just repent. You feel me? And then I ask God for forgiveness for fooling the devil. And I don't feel bad about lying to the devil. You feel me? Can I do that?
I saw 3 races that were really gonna pay big. And these horses were dummies, so to speak. You know what I mean? They were not really good horses. They were like one horse paid 21-1 because he was that poor, right? The chance of winning was so poor that they paid 21-1 on him. And it showed me I saw the board at the bouquet and the number on it. And I went there, and they said it was going to be on Saturday. That was like on Wednesday. A few days later, it was Saturday. I went there, and sure enough, there they were on the boards. I went to the wicket and handed some money and got myself a winner. Now I said, well, I'm a little crazy. I ought to put more money on there, so I put $20 onto the next horse, and that paid 21-1. So you know, I left there with maybe $400 or $500 in my hands, and I started to do that. In this case, I went directly down to the finest men's shop on St. Catherine Street, and bought myself a $200 suit.
And in 1946, a $200 suit was.
In 1946, people used to work at the.
Yo, so motherfuckers who worship the devil or spirits, they've been on that nigga shit forever. Nigga went and gambled, got some bitches, ran his money up, got fly, got a $200 suit. That's like Balenciaga back in the days, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, he rocking heavy with the devil. Let's go.
The RCA Victor, where I had worked before I went to the Navy, for $18 a week. Mm-hmm. And the good earners were $50 to $75 per week, you know, for labor.
So the demon spirits looked on you so favorably, they began to help you win in your gambling.
Then I went to other bookies, you see. And one day, I am told of the man at the cage, where you do your bet, he says, my boss would like to talk to you. And he said, you go right through that door over there. Oh, sure. So I know the guy says, come on in. The guy's sitting behind a big desk, smoking the big cigar. So he says, you're Roger. I says, yeah.
So my dad stopped paying for
He got up and walked around me. He said, you don't look that smart. I said, what, sir? You don't look that smart. He says that you could pick horses that are winners when they're supposed to be losers. Where do you get your help? What do you mean help? I'm not getting any help. I just happen to go and, oh no, we've been watching you here, he says, for a number of weeks. And you always leave here with some of our good money. And I'll tell you, buddy, if you want a list of all the bookies in Montreal, I'll give you a list of them. But he says, I want you out of here. And don't show up again. Because somebody's going to put a, you know what I mean. I said, okay, sir, I won't be back again. So it's a tough business to be in gambling.
So even with the Spirit's help, it was tough.
Yeah. Well, it's stuff is going to shoot you, yes.
Yeah. The high priest would say a number of things to you when you were in these praise services, and you went to a number of them over a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about the issues of the great conflict. You've already touched on that a little bit. I want you to follow up on that a little bit more, Roger. Some of the things that you wrote in your book, Trip into the Supernatural, sounds a whole lot like what we as Christians today know as the Great Controversy.
Mm-hmm.
What were some of the things that he told you there?
Well, he says that there's a great controversy going on between the force of good and evil, between Christ and Satan. And they always praise the great master, Satan, as a super intelligent being that he is, beautiful to behold. And if he ever appears to you, you won't be able to look upon him because it'll be too bright. It'll just ruin your vision. The high priest said he was in Chicago, and the Spirit appeared to him and said, Morneau and his buddy, George, has invited them to the service, and the fellow that is in charge while you're away says that he's going to wreck all the work that the spirits have done for the last few years to get these people into the society. So the high priest, which is in Chicago, picks up the phone and calls, and the spirit appeared to him, and he said the angel was so bright that he could not look upon him. And he says after he picked up the phone to dial, he couldn't dial the phone because of the fact that his vision was so terribly blurred by the light, the beautiful light of the bright being. And he asked, dial 0, and the operator came on, and she had to, dial for him. And they talk about many, many things in regards to, who's going to win this conflict.
Any discussion about fire and brimstone?
Yes. He says, the Bible people, talking about the Christians, they read in the Bible that, we're all going to land in a lake of fire and this and that. So that's baloney. He says the conflict is going to end peacefully. Christ is going to realize that he might as well abdicate the rights of this planet, take his few people on with him to his planet in the center of the galaxies, and we will be left with a master who will resurrect all his people that will be as numerous as the sand of the sea. See? And the master will rule forever and ever and ever. A happy people. And he named some of the people that's going to be there. I don't want to mention the names because they're known to history. Yeah. So that was quite impressive.
Did you always feel, Roger, that these people were telling the truth?
Oh yes, yeah. Yeah, they really had things down straight. But I was not satisfied with the answers that I was getting. There was something, and I understand now it was the Spirit of God saying, hold back, fellow. Hold back. And the priest had talked about us thinking seriously about being initiated into their cult.
Right. So they let you come to sort of take a look-see, but you can't go back for several months.
Oh yeah, it's not a matter of whether you're going to be initiated or not. It's when.
Okay.
You see?
So they begin to press you for a commitment.
So the priest said, look, fellas, I'm not going to pressure you into anything, okay? But I want to show you what the spirits can do for a devoted servant. We went downstairs, not through the staircase that I took for the worship room of the gods, but at the other end of the building. Went downstairs, and a number of times I'd gone there to the men's room, and I heard these typewriters clicking like the dickens. Man, it's going. I said, why do we have a lot of people typing in there, in that room? Well, we went there that evening, and he knocked, and the man says, come on in. And there was all those typewriters moving along by themselves, typing at the speed that I'd never seen before. And not only that, the high priest says, I want to show you something clever. So he says, follow me. So we went around the table. There was like 2 long tables, and they had...
If anybody's hanging out and kicking it, watching this shit, let me know what you think. Because, I don't know, it just, my spirit of discernment, I don't feel like this guy's full of shit. I don't feel like he's full of shit.
They had about 10 typewriters. And he says, now notice that the typewriter types to the right, then doesn't go back. It types back to the left. Isn't that something? I had never heard of things like that before. He said the spirits are doing the work. And he introduced us to the man. And the man is a lawyer. And he said, how much money did you make last year? Oh, he says it's in the 6 figures. You see?
So this lawyer had a business in the building that housed the worship room.
Oh, yeah.
And he had a whole room full of typewriters.
Yeah.
And he put paper in there, and demons
That's
typed.
all he did. Put typewriter paper in there. It was
and what came out? What was it that came out?
Different briefs for court cases.
And so he would sell these to people?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He had this service to the legal profession.
And the high priest was
the
showing...
United States and Canada.
So the high priest was showing you this to give you an idea about the kinds of blessings that you would
That's
receive?
right. Yep.
Listen to this.
But after...
Yeah, Flying Lotus is just typing, huh? You see, it's not the how extraordinary the claim is. It's more his disposition when he's relaying the information. You know what I'm saying? I live in the realm of infinite possibility, so that is possible. You know, I've had paranormal experiences, but yeah, like a whole room of typewriters running, no. But I haven't really been kicking it with Satanists that said they're working with the jinn and demons and shit, you know? And I don't know. I don't want to get too crazy and shit, but if you look at that movie, something, was it Silver Lake or some shit like that? Where they show that one guy and he's supposed to play like like a satanic kind of archetype, and he's in that spot. He made all the music from like the beginning of time, like all the hits. He just played on piano, and he give the hits to everybody, you know. And he was playing every riff on the piano. It's kind of like that. Just like I heard that like NWA was bullshit. Like when they changed the hip hop from being like fun and educational and shit like that, and the NWA got popping back in the days. I heard like the CIA was writing their shit. So if the CIA wrote your fucking raps and shit like that, you might as well have got your raps from typewriters.
After you left that typewriter, the room where the lawyer was, they tried to draw you into a commitment by getting you to make a public profession. Tell us about that.
Well, they have a super beautiful resort in the Laurentian Mountains, which is north of Montreal, north of Saint Agathe. Saint Agathe is a famous name there in Montreal. Montrealers, because they all go Saint Agathe or north there, you know, the summer home and that. So they had a big resort up there for their people, you know. So it's a closed society. And they had on October the 30th, Halloween, is that?
October 31.
31, last day of October. They had what they call live animal sacrifices. I don't know what it is that they did. We could never find out. By the time that the Lord pulled me out of there, I had not yet found out what it was. So you have this intrigue involved in there. And he talked about three very unique services that I attended there that sit on my mind forever. One was entitled Christian Idolatry. Another one was entitled
Yeah, flying low. Bingo. You feel me? All these things are connected, but they're just in the open, you know? I'm not saying I know the answer to saying this stuff. I'm just saying that I'm observing phenomena. And just because I cannot explain the phenomena or the workings of the mechanism does not mean that I'm not observing something. You feel me?
the super deception of a glorious new age, which actually applies to the new age today. And this was 1946 that we're talking. And then the other one was Satan's Great General Council of the 1700s. And I must say the things that I heard there was an eye-opener. First of all, we'll go through the Great General Council.
Okay.
At the beginning of the 1700s, said the high priest, Satan and all his spirit counselors held a Great General Council with one purpose in mind. It was to prepare for the great industrial age that was soon to break upon the world. And Lucifer also foresaw another age that was to follow that, where tremendous scientific discoveries would be made by people, and we would enter a unique age that would change the way that everybody lives. It would also serve to usher in the end times and the close of the great controversy between the forces of good and evil. And the priest said that Lucifer had been studying the Bible. And he found in Daniel 12:4, where we are told about the time of the end, many shall run to and fro, knowledge shall be increased. Mm-hmm. He understood it to be that we're getting to that point. And he had, with all the spirit counselors, to change their modes of operation in order, to ensnare people. Mm-hmm. And to devise a way whereby people would disqualify themselves from being members of Christ's kingdom.
And he was just very candid about this.
Oh, yeah.
Telling you and the rest of the group, 60 or 70 people there, the plans that
close to 100 people,
Lucifer had revealed to him.
Mm-hmm. And by the time the council came to a close,
do this 7 minutes a day until
they had three major policies that were going to be followed. First, they were to see to it that humans would be made to believe that Satan and his angels do not really exist. Because see, up to that time, you could walk down a street of Paris and you would have signs that would say where you have a soothsayer or, or a fortune teller of some type, and if you want to put a curse on someone, you could go and see this other old lady over there, the old witch, that's the way it goes. But now it had to change. Lucifer says, we have to make sure that people, humans, get to believe that Satan and his angels do not really exist.
You know, Roger, that's interesting because a recent research study report that I read indicated that in a national survey, I believe it's over 75% of people do not really believe in a real tangible devil. Mm-hmm. But there is one.
Oh, yeah. Now, the next thing, the three parts policy that they had adopted there, the second one was to find a way of being able to get total control of people's minds. And that would be done by taking hypnotism out of the realm of the occult and introduce it as a new science for the benefit of mankind.
Hypnotism, originally known as mesmerism, aka mesmerizing, by the nigga Mesmer. I forgot his first name. What was the name? You know the white nigga.
So part of what the high priest told you was Satan's strategy to take total control of people's minds.
Yo, what happened to white people's hair back in the day? Did you see her and her mans? Watch when they show her man, when she shows her mans again. White people used to all just have the same hair. You feel me? What happened to this shit when white people's hair just used to be like little white, like different types of afro? Like like dog fur or whatever, some shit like that. But it was like watch. You remember Saved by the Bell? You feel me? White people and shit. Zach Morris and shit.
Mm-hmm. They felt that by taking hypnotism out of the realm of the occult and introducing it as a new science for the benefit of mankind, they could then use people of great renown, educators, people of capacity, that would do great things, such as supposedly regress people in time to former lives that they had. And of course, after the session is over, the person would not know a thing about ancient history. And the person that she or he has talked about performing, certain deeds, we'll say 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. But this was their strategy. Now, what this would do for the thing is this, that it would create in the minds of the general public, solidly set in the mind of the general public, an unwavering trust in that great deception. In other words, people could, they would believe it. This person was hypnotized, was regressed in time to, former lives, and did this and did that, and no deception. Maybe Alexander the Great, we'll say, and some of his generals and people like that. And the person, after the session is over, comes out of hypnotism, and he or she doesn't know what she's talking about. So now this would be a way of dechristianizing the Western world through the avenue of mysticism.
Why is it so hard to replicate the quality of traditional Japanese knives? It's the Japanese chef's knife that's...
Now the time...
Hold on. So the key point. Like, Satan plans to dechristianize the Western world through the avenue of mysticism. Now, you see the quality of this video. You see how the white people are dressed and carrying themselves like good old white people, the white people that I miss. You feel me? You gotta realize how long ago this was. This guy says he fought in World War something. This nigga fought in like World War I or something. This is old as shit. You feel me? Dechristianize the Western world through the avenue of mysticism, aka the New Age movement, aka the Gaia channel, the alien agenda, the Palladians are gonna come and save white people. You feel me? Like, it's all that. It's really the New Age movement, the secret. You feel me? Things like that. Not meant to be occult shit, but just because like I was saying, I don't engage in any tribalism of any sorts, even mental tribalism. You feel me? What's some shit like? Remember, I wrote some shit back in the days on the track that I did. Hold up. I said, I understand if you don't want the knowledge because it hurts. I want the truth, even if it leads me back to the church. You feel me?
Time came when Lucifer decided that he had to choose a person to initiate this thing. And Franz Mesmer, which was an Austrian physician, was chosen. Because
the priest told you all of this?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Because he was most capable. Mesmer originated a theory called animal magnetism, later on named mesmerism. Mesmer was led by the spirits to believe, and this is what the priest said, was led by the spirits to believe that certain persons have a magnetic influence within themselves, so to speak, that would cause them to have great power over other persons, even to the point of placing them into a trance. And at that time, that was readily accepted by people in general, at the time that Mesmer lived. So people realize, they said that some people got a capacity to put you into a trance. That's the way. Now, by the time that he died, in 1815, a lot of the physicians in Europe were using hypnotism as a means of anesthesia.
Now, hypnotism is the same as mesmerism?
That's right. Okay. So mesmerism that's been developed to a higher degree of refinement. And the priest went on saying that the plan of Satan to deceive the human family this way, he says is the most intriguing thing to his mind. And he went on saying how it was going to be brought about. He said that a fellow by the name of Darwin and another fellow by the name of Thomas Henry Huxley would be used by the spirits because in their childhood they had been hypnotized by medical doctors. And they figured that they would be real good subjects to lead the people into this belief.
We have 732 Wavy in the building. It's been a minute, good sir. Hope you're prospering, gaining new skills. You feel me? Wavy says, has Dude mentioned anything about Freemasonry or Crowleyism? No. But he also seems like he's part of a French-Canadian background. You know, French Canadians always had their little spiritual movements. You know, the same thing that was going on over here when they had the you see how old this video is? You feel me? This nigga, and I'm not telling a joke right now. I'm pretty sure he said he fought in like World War I or something like that. You feel me? So he comes from the how do I say? It's like the same wave of shit that went over on the same wave of shit that went on over here went on over in Europe. It actually came from Europe. The fad came from Europe of the clairvoyance and having the seances and all that shit. You feel me? And that was pushed back into the underground. So he doesn't mention that directly, but we'll see.
But they had that Satan wanted to bring into people's lives.
Now, what were those 3 points again, Roger? The 3 things were, number 1, that they did not want Satan did not want the human family to think that he or his angels existed.
Right.
The second point that you made had to do with taking control of people's minds.
That's right.
The third point was what?
Was to destroy the Bible without burning it.
Okay.
See?
And what was his strategy on that?
On that, it was very interesting. Because after the Great General Council, it was decided that Satan would tutor Charles Darwin personally in setting up the principles of his theories of evolution. He was tutored by Lucifer himself, the fallen Lucifer. And at that time, it was...
Flying Low says Wavy must have found a way to get his side phone. His white queen must be sleeping. He have an hour battery charge. You know, probably less than an hour, you know. Haven't seen Wavy around, so he probably is laid up under a fat white woman for the winter.
It was understood, Satan and his spirit counselors understood that if a person was led to believe in the theory of evolution, it would, in his life, destroy completely the creation week of the Bible, the fall of man, and the plan of redemption. It would do away with it.
In one fell swoop.
Yeah. Now, he made a unique statement. He said that according to the spirits, anyone that teaches a theory of evolution is considered to be a minister of the great religious system. See, they call it the religious system, the theory of evolution.
The religion of scientism. The religion of scientism. The religion of relativism. Relativism and relative thinking. Relativism and relative thinking, that's like some Jewish thinking, you feel me? That's why those scientists the theory of relativity, Einstein and all that shit, is relative thinking. When you take that relative thinking towards morality, that's when you get all the weird shit. That's in the Kabbalah and the what's that piece of shit book and the Talmud. You feel me? My bad, I shouldn't have said that. I mean the wild mood. you know those small hats get in a wild mood. Huh. Baby says, Life Master, nah, I'm at work counting inventory, waiting on my food to be delivered. If she ain't got the bag, if she got the bag, you know we ain't judging. You feel me? It ain't nothing. He's extracting. He could be extracting. You feel me? Shout out to KB. We don't see KB anymore because KB's getting money. You feel me?
Because it is a system of schooling people and getting them to disqualify themselves from being members of Christ's kingdom.
Are you ready to see your brand?
That creeps me out.
And he said that every teacher of that theory is recognized by the spirits as a person of great value and receives a very special unction from Satan himself, giving great power to induce spiritual blindness, to convince and convert. 3 capacities are given to those teachers of the theory. Then, that's not all. The priest says that Satan considers the teachers of the theory of evolution to be so valuable to him that in the sight of all the inhabitants of the galaxies, he assigns a retinue of bright, beautiful angels to follow that educator all the remainder of his life. And that in the sight of the inhabitants of the galaxies is the greatest honor that he can bestow upon his workers, upon mankind, and to, until they...
It's crazy, like, these niggas are sitting in there and Satan just wilding them up. Satan just telling them all types of bullshit. He's like, yo, he said shit, and I'm gonna give you mad angels, and in the galaxy, angels is gonna be like, yo, Satan won't say anything. You know that nigga's gay.
Controversy is finished. That was quite enlightening.
Now the high priest was talking just sort of like a preacher would talk up front. Was he enthusiastic? Did he seem like he had bought into this and was excited about it?
Oh yeah, he believed it 100%, no question about it, so everything.
Why would he be so excited about spirits trying to deceive human beings? Because obviously out of this council of the 1700s, deception was a major part of the strategy. Why?
Well, he says it's deception. It's like politics. You believe in one candidate, the other person believes in the other candidate, and they're fighting to get the position, and it's just a matter of who's gonna be the smartest. And with Lucifer, the fallen cherubim, he's very smart. He's going to win, and Christ's going to abdicate the rights of the planet. He's going to resurrect his people, have established his kingdom that lasts for ever and ever. God won't be able to destroy him because it would be against God's, the Creator's nature to destroy Lucifer in the fire. Beside that, he said, spirits now, even spirits, have the capacity now to outlive fire. He says, you don't believe it, go to India or some of those countries where they have firewalkers. And it's done by the power of demon spirits. These people are energized by demon spirits, so they can walk on those hot coals without burning themselves.
And this is what the high priest said.
And he says, if they want to use fire, they can use it. It's not going to burn anybody. So that's the way they believe.
This high priest was almost talking to your group in an evangelistic fervor.
Oh yeah, because he figures that he's going to be one of the higher ups in the great kingdom.
Okay. Now, of the group that was there that night, 60, 70 people, I think you've mentioned before.
Yeah, it varied.
How many of those were people who were hardcore members, and how many of them were new inductees?
Well, we were the only two youngsters there, so to speak.
You and your friend. And how old were you at that time, Roger?
I was about 20.
20 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Roger, at the time of his involvement with spirit worship, Look at him, dog. This picture old as shit. This nigga used to do cocaine with Houdini and shit like that. You feel me? This motherfucker used to. This motherfucker used to hang out with Tesla and shit, dog. This nigga. And you see he was. Look at this nigga's eyes. This nigga was lit back in the days.
Yep, 20 years.
Did you have a feeling of awe over the fact that you had been chosen?
This one cleaning hack makes.
We got enough commercials in this shit, man.
Yes, in a way. And then I got thinking about this. When am I going to have to pay the price? The cost. My parents had brought me up like this. If you get involved with evil, you're going to reap what you sowed. So you want to be upright in life. And if you associate with evildoers, they'll probably land you in jail or somewhere else that you wouldn't want to be. So there's always a price to be paid.
So you had that little something maybe instilled by your mother
Yeah.
and father a long time ago that kept you from making that full commitment.
Now, one of the things that really amazed me and shocked me and made me sick at heart is when the priests talk about Christian idolatry.
What is Christian idolatry? The priest mentioned that word.
Yeah.
Tell us what he said, Roger.
He said that Christian idolatry is the most grandiose or great deception that has ever been brought upon the human family, upon mankind. And he says, and he boasted that demon spirits are continually defiling Christian churches through the avenue of necromancy by using a form of spirit worship that involves hundreds of millions of Christians into idolatry without their being aware of it.
Now, what is necromancy? Describe or define necromancy for me.
Their belief, popular belief of necromancy, is to conjure the spirits of the dead.
So that you can speak with someone who has died. Like the seance that you originally went to was the practice of necromancy.
Hold up. We got the man, the myth, the legend, QB flexing in the building. Always down to throw hands. See, QB got way more of my respect than most of you niggas on the internet. You feel me? I gotta keep it a beam. You feel me? And hold on. Happy New Year to you too, QB. But since you're here, let me address this. Because I was gonna do this, and we're gonna do it another night. Maybe I won't even do it because it's not even that serious. But I'm just not in the spirit right now. But give me 1 second. Let me get this on the screen. Hold up. No. I don't think it's there anymore. I think QB took the. No. Oh, let me find this. Give me a second. Bear with me, sir. Bear with me. All right, here we go. QB. Whose man's is this, dog? Whose man's is this? Actually, I'm gonna play it. Okay, let me play it and then I'll show the comments. I'm gonna play it.
I don't know. We're going somewhere. Say hello. Hola.
Hola.
Hey.
Now, QB, this is your man's, dog. Now, tell me something. Is he trying to be? Is this sarcasm? Me gusta Colombia non-pro out here? Like, is this supposed to be sarcasm? Or is he claiming that he's in Colombia moving like this and these aren't fucking workers? Is that what he's claiming?
I don't know. We're going somewhere, say hello. Hola.
Hola.
Hey. Ah.
What is this, dog? Yo, hold up.
Ah. Ah.
Why is it making noises? You think Spanish is just making noises? Yo, look at this nigga. Biting his lip, looking at the camera. This nigga really think he locked in with the hoes out there. He's like, yo, you see me out here with these bitches, nigga? He throws like a little fake gang sign. What is this? What is this, dog? Look.
Ah.
It's only, yo, the clip is only 25 seconds long, and I can't even let the whole thing play. Hit the like button, dog. I can't even let the whole thing play. All right, so, see, I'm willing to stand down if it's like inside joke, and I didn't get the inside joke. You feel me? But look, here we go to the comments. Feel me? And I'm laughing with QB. I didn't say this guy's name. I don't know who this guy is. I'm laughing with QB. I'm like, yo, dude. The dude said, "Me gustia provincia." I can't even. I'm actually saying better than he said it. So this thing is, what did I write? I said, "Nah, bro. You passport dudes never learn. Dudes should really pay me to go to Med." I said, "Dudes should really pay me to go to Medellin with them before they end up skull headstone." Means dead, right? QB liked it. Me and QB laughing. QB says he agrees. You feel me? I'm laughing with QB. And here's the guy in the video. The guy in the video says, "And who are you? Damn, I guess people can't have fun anymore and enjoy life without someone hating. But this is YouTube. Prime reason why I don't care about doing travel content anymore. There's too many of you lames on it. The internet always worried about what other people are doing, but never have any work to show for it." I'm like, yo. What did I say? I said, "Hey Goofy, I will be reviewing your channel. We will see who is lame. Never think you're the only one who has gotten a passport and paid a box worker. That isn't work." You feel me? So I'm not gonna do this.
Crazy.
I'm not gonna do this tonight if I do it at all. I'm not gonna do this tonight if I do it at all. But this is the guy's channel. You know, let's see a little something, dog. And QB, I know QB probably left, dog. He don't want any parts of this. But QB, tell your homie that we could line it up. And I feel me, it's not that serious. I have a reason to fight this guy, but I just want to have a boxing match in Colombia. I think it'll be fun. So to tell this guy we could line it up, bro.
One thing about the people in this residence, people say mucho gusto. This guy just gave me this fragrance over here. We walking in Laureles.
I know this block. Right. He's right. Okay. He's in Laureles right here. That's the spot over his corner. The spot with the white sign. I forgot what that spot is called. But if you go behind him, if you keep going back, I'm pretty sure that's where the Sweet Georgia Peaches is. You feel me? Where I think a Colombian bitch got a nigga for a whole restaurant over there. You feel me? That's where Sweet Georgia Peaches is. I went over there. I went over to Ada that spot one time to try to support like a black guy out there. I didn't see no niggas in there. It looked like he taught some Colombian bitch how to cook grits and shit like that, and it was over. She got him up out of there. I didn't even see. I saw some younger cats. I didn't even see mixed kids. They look like Colombians to me. You feel me? But yeah, this nigga walk around Laureles. Let's see what you talking about.
Wonderful. In Medellin, Colombia. Met some great locals last night. Had some great drinks. Highly recommend it. It's great. It's a wonderful atmosphere. Highly recommend it. So it's great. I mean, mucho gusto. So yeah, man. So.
Yo, how are you gonna be a YouTuber and have the worst camera on earth, greasy fried chicken hand, thumbprint camera ass angles and shit? Like, come on, bro.
Last night I met some locals, man, and it was great, man. It was just a great atmosphere, just sitting outside a bar and having a few drinks and just talking and laughing and shit. And listen,
This is who's calling me lame, dog. This is insane. Because, you know, one thing about Colombia is I don't even drink. Here, I don't keep liquor in my house. I don't drink out here, for real, in the United States. But in Colombia, I'll have a drink here and there, moving around with people and shit. I eat whatever I want. I'm trying sweets and all these different things, and I can't not lose weight. I just lose weight and come back looking better in shape. Cause I'm still on my workout shit out there. But I come back, even when I'm not tired of my workout shit, I come back looking younger and in shape. How is this nigga in Colombia? Looks like he's out there for an extended stay. And this nigga's looking fatter and shittier and just depressing, dog. Come on, Bill, come on. I wanted to make fun of him, but now I'm kind of sad.
I understand some people who are not really fluent in Spanish. And you say to yourself, well, damn, you know, how can I talk to these locals? Sometimes you got to pull out the phone and do the translator, bro.
Yeah, you're out there living in Colombia and you can't speak to them. You got to pull the translator out. That's insane. I don't even got to pull the translator out. Come on, dog. He's like, how do you speak to them? If you pull the translator out, you're not speaking to them. You feel me? So, you know, it'll be a short time before we find out this guy got ran down on. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna save it for another show. I'm gonna do some research on him and we'll have a good time chopping him out. I'm gonna make this guy a segment on the show. Yeah, I'll do that.
Mancy.
Now, the priest says that the superstition is brought about in only one way, through the deceptive belief that man has an immortal soul that lives on after death. And he said that constitutes idolatry.
Flying says, would be jog on the beach at 4 a.m. to watch the sun come up. That sounds nice if I was on the beach, you know. But Medellin is in a mountain valley. You feel me? So you don't have any access to the beach. But you're in a mountain valley, and there's incline and decline just about everywhere you're walking. You feel me? Like in Laureles, where he was just walking, it's pretty flat. And I don't want to say it, but is the nigga so fat and lazy that he decided to be in Laureles just because he doesn't have to walk incline and decline all the time? That'd be crazy if you're so fat and lazy that you didn't want to be in like Las Palmas or Poblado or Taroso or fucking Tereso. Am I saying that wrong? Niggas know what I'm talking about, where the mall is.
Idolatry through necromancy. So he says there are hundreds of millions of Christians that are practicing idolatry while they think they're glorifying God. You see?
Because they believe that the soul is immortal. Yeah. They may not be talking to the supposed spirits of the dead.
Oh, yeah. Contrary to popular belief, necromancy does not consist of conjuring the spirits of the dead. The reason being that man is totally mortal and does not possess an immortal soul. So who are they talking to? He says the friendly demon spirits that have always found over the centuries great delight in impersonating in apparitions departed loved ones and persons of great renown.
Now, friendly demon spirits.
Friendly demon spirits.
Are there more than one kind of demon spirits, Roger?
Well, there's three main divisions, and then there's divisions within those divisions. You have the friendly demon spirits that seem to have the finesse and the refinement, and they're not upset about what happened when they were thrown out of heaven, from what I gather. Then you have the warriors They like to bring misery and destruction in the lives of people. Then you have the oppressors. And the oppressors are the real wicked spirits that hate God with all of their, the Creator with all of their might, you know.
Okay, this is the Automatic Course Creator, and if you are looking for the fastest and most affordable way to launch your first or next course.
So he went on explaining, he says, now, necromancy is in reality a belief, a religious belief. People believe that the dead have entered into a higher state of existence than they had when they were alive. Also that they are in a position and have the capacity to help the living here on earth. See? Then he said, he says, this is where things get really interesting. He said, according to the Great Master, a person does not have to supposedly call upon the spirits of the dead to receive help, you see, to be involved in necromancy. All he needs to do is to believe in life after death. Because he said, necromancy is the belief that man is human, as a human being, as an immortal soul. So anybody that believes that man has an immortal soul is involved in necromancy.
All right, it's getting interesting now. He still might be locked in with Satan because he seems like he's trying to spin everybody now. It seems like he's trying to spin everybody now.
It's that simple. That's the way he explained it. Yep.
So how does that constitute idolatry?
Yo, and shout out to this white nigga right here, because I can tell he don't trust him. He's like this fucking European, Canadian Satanist piece of shit.
By people believing that they are either talking to the saints, you see, the spirits of the dead saints, or a dead relative, or a dead person of some type. And you take, for instance, like Loretta Lynn. She says on national television, and I have the data on it, that I heard it myself. She said that she was made successful in her singing career by a dear friend of hers that was the same age as she, and died when she was 18 years of age. And Loretta was trying to get into the singing world, you know.
Doesn't Lady Gaga have the same story?
But she says, I had no success at all. Until one night I was sitting in bed reading a book. And she says, who walks right through the wall with my friend? The spirit of my friend. And she says, Loretta, I'm going to make you a very famous person in singing Western country music. And I will be with you all the time. Trust me. And she says, she had a big concert once, and she was coming down with this bad cold. And she thought that her voice was going to give. She talked to her spirit and felt that she was going to be helped. And she got on the stage and she started to sing, and right in the middle of where she really needed the power, no power at all. And her spirit friend tapped her on the shoulder and started to sing for her. She said her voice went through me, the power. See?
And you saw this in a television.
She's on her Beyonce shit. She's on her Sasha Fierce shit. She's on her Nicki Minaj, the Demon Roman.
Documentary?
Yeah. This was, I believe, 1976 it took place. Now, the priest explained that when people believe in this business, they are actually opening themselves to be completely deceived by demon spirits, because it gives the demon spirits an opportunity to impersonate the dead.
You know, I feel like this doesn't happen to black people that often, because like we don't care who it is. If you just came walking through the wall, we'd be like, what the fuck, nigga, don't you ever walk in my house without knocking and shit. I don't care if it's my great grandma's spirit or some shit like that. But like, what the fuck you just walking in here for? You don't pay no bills in here.
See, and for people to believe their lies, and the priest says that thrills first of all, it says it brings to the great master the respect and the reverence that is due to his great name, and it makes all the other spirits exceedingly happy, because they are the ones that have worked to lead people to believe in life after death. See? and they rejoice also. And that's the extent of what
Christian idolatry is all about. Friendly spirits, just to digress for just a moment, you mentioned 3 different categories, and the friendly spirits are the ones that love to impersonate being a historian or something.
We specialize in that.
In your experiences in the praise services or in the worship room or the other places where you were, any of the places you were, did you ever witness an event where necromancy or even something that would be popularly called channeling today took place, where you actually heard the voice of someone in response to someone's questions?
Yeah, a number of times, but there was one time in particular that fascinated me because it was unique in one way. The priest told us that there was a French historian that was affiliated with Montreal, University of Montreal, which is a French university, and the English university is McGill. So the University of Montreal is the French university. And this man was from Paris, but he's affiliated with the university. And he wanted to have some details in regards to Napoleon Bonaparte and one of his generals. So by the way, there are also in other parts of the world elite spirit worshippers like the group that we had in Montreal. And he mentioned there that he said, you guys are fortunate when my friend and I went in, because you're right in time to see something very interesting. My friend there is having his devotions in the worship room of the gods, and he will use a trance medium to converse with certain demon spirits that will inform him in regards to ancient history about Napoleon. And sure enough, we went down there, and somebody came up and said he's ready for the session, and we went down there, and he said you would need 3 people. You would need 3 people, but he wanted 5 people that volunteer to be the channel for the spirit. Okay, so three of them was chosen there, and the others went back and sat down. And the man shook his head like, a little bit like this. His eyes went glazed, and he stayed at it for a half hour. And the spirit spoke to him. He said, I'm a spirit counselor, and what would you like to know? And he had a clipboard, the historian, and asked him some questions.
This historian was from Paris.
Yeah.
And he was wanting information,
some detailed information
about Napoleon
Bonaparte and one of his generals.
And so he asked the questions of one of these human beings that was channeling.
Oh yeah, the voice changed and everything. The voice changed of the person completely.
Okay. And it identified itself as a spirit guide.
Oh yeah, spirit counselor, yeah.
Okay, a spirit counselor. And then proceeded to tell him all the events that he was asking, answer his questions?
And there was a certain question that was asked, and the spirit counselor said, I will have Lord Remy and Lord Alphonse duplicate, in other words, the dialogue that had taken place.
Oh,
and
the 2 other drama.
Yeah, and the 2 other men fulfill what he was looking for. But the one thing that interests me is the mayor of Montreal, Camélien Hood. During World War II, at the beginning of the war, he was very controversial when in regards to the war effort. He would tell the French-speaking boys not to go into the armed service, see, because you're going to go and shed your blood for the British, you know, and we're their servants, so to speak, and all that, and he didn't want him to go into war, and they put him in prison. He was jailed for the length of the war for this. Now, the man said, I would like to have you tell me, to the spirit, to give me part of the speech that was given by Camélien Hood on the steps of the Montreal City Hall on a certain date. There are different versions of what has taken place, and you, Lord, would know the exact one.
Now, the mayor of Montreal was still alive.
Was still alive.
And this historian is asking what was actually said at a speech.
Yeah.
Okay.
The spirit counselor said, I'm sorry I can't help you. All of my activities and my people have taken place in Europe. However, after my departure, our departure, other spirits will come and help you. And sure enough, the guy vibrated a little bit and he's back and he said, boy, how long? He said, 20 minutes.
That's a bit of a giveaway how they say, like, oh, the spirit's like, yo, hold on, I can't even do nothing with that, you know. I really rock heavy in Europe. I'll send my cousin or whatever. It just seems like outside of this vibrational density or whatever, there's just another society going on, and there's just some weird thing going on. But it just seems like they're just people, like just gangsters on that side, and it's just assholes and shit, and then regular people just like over here, Yeah. Could be.
Used as a channel. So they, again, the spirit entered into him, and the spirit said he was a spirit counselor that could give him the information that he was looking for. So, again, it was given verbally, and it was the voice of Chameleon Hood.
Now, how did you know that it was the voice?
Well, because of the fact, you see, I was a youngster in those days, just about ready to go into the army. And Chameleon, we used to listen to the radio. We had no television in those days, so it was only radio and read the newspaper. And all the speeches of Chameleon made and all of it was on the radio all the time. And in those days, they had no tape recorders, as we have now. So Chameleon would have to go to the Canadian Broadcasting Studio, where they made a record, a real phonograph record. And then they played it over and over, for the rest of the day.
So you listened to those as a teenager before you went into the army. So you knew his voice.
So I knew his voice really good. So I said to George, he was sitting next to me, he said, isn't it amazing? He said, if you think that's amazing, wait, he says, until the spirits impersonate one of the departed people that you know. Personally, like an uncle or a brother or a sister or something like that. He says, that is unique. But that's the way it was. You are able to reproduce a voice, man, and just to perfection. The spirits are exceedingly proud of this.
Meet the Masato, one of the sharpest and most versatile Japanese inspired.
Because, and this also was right up my alley. The priest said that as the times on this planet gets more and more difficult, and calamities of all kinds are striking the planet more and more frequently, demon spirits are going to impress people with the importance of Sunday sacredness.
Roger, when I was a teenager back in the 1970s, I remember a song that came out talking about the age of Aquarius. And since then, we've seen the development of the New Age. And I wondered if back when you were involved in spirit worship, if they talked about New Age at all.
Oh yes, it was a big thing that was coming up. One of the major deceptions of the last days. And the priest told us, we talked quite a while, and then he said, could I have a little bit more of your time? I want to do something very fascinating. He says, the grand plan, the master's grand plan for harvesting the nations, for harvesting the multitudes of the earth into his cause, just before the close of the great controversy between the forces of good and evil. So we continued, after we expressed ourselves that we're deeply interested to know more about the activities of the spirits. And he said, it's going to be done in a unique manner. This grand plan is going to take people are going to eat the stuff. Because he says, demon spirits will declare themselves to be inhabitants of far distant planets in the galaxies that are coming to warn the inhabitants of planet Earth of the impending destruction of the planet unless something seriously proper is done to avoid it. And he went on saying that they will claim to have out-of-body experiences. Are you familiar with out-of-body experiences?
I've read about them.
In other words, so there's some persons are supposed to be able to, they believe in their immortal soul.
Speaking of that, let's do this real quick. Anybody? Hit the like button. I don't even know if people are hanging out like that, but to go along with what he's referring to right now, let's pull this up. Give me a second. It's only gonna take a second. I remember where this is. This is it. Yeah, give me a second.
Back.
And shout out to this dude's channel. He got one of those channels where he doesn't do shit. I want to start one of these channels. Hold up. All right, let's go.
About, man, and I ain't gonna lie, back then it was mainly out of fear, man. And we used M-Space back then, so we didn't have the capability for y'all to verbally communicate and respond to me in real time, man. And I'm just finna tell y'all something, man, that explained a lot of my gifts, man. And I want y'all to understand how it came to be where I can like see in spirit, walk in spirit. It's always been a gift I had since I was a little kid. My grandma called me and my brother seers, you know what I'm saying? Both of us were September. Both of us would have dreams of stuff to come. I ain't gonna get into all that, but I'm gonna let y'all know what heightened it and what triggered it. In 2004, as y'all can see, I got out of the military. They gave us a bunch of shots, man. Y'all save this video and y'all make sure y'all spin it, save it, repeat it, research so y'all can help me figure out what exactly happened to me, okay? But anyway, they done a bunch of tests, man, because they were trying to combat anthrax, right? Nobody knew what anthrax really was. So they gave us these sticks, right? They stuck us with the jabs and they were trying to combat anthrax, and everyone's lower half of their body stopped working. So they put us on bed rest for 24 hours. I was 13 Fox, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. You understand? Y'all, this is about to get a lot deeper, but I need to tell somebody, man, I'm getting old, bro. So I'm finna share what I know while I can. After being on bed rest for 24 hours, everybody's leg starts back working. Next day, I'm in the chow line. That's where we go to eat, you know, etc. We're getting our food, etc. I start vomiting, couldn't stop. Chest pains, couldn't stop. Cramps, couldn't stop. Mind foggy. Everything was going in and out. The sun, the light outside is going from night to day, man. I black out. Bam, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I'm out like a light, y'all. I wake up in the hospital. I had been there for 70 days. The chaplain tells me they're gonna have to give me a medical honorable discharge because I had developed something called pericarditis and acute bronchitis. Y'all understand? This was from them giving us the anthrax injections, but that's not what I'm talking about. I need y'all to know what I remembered that happened to me that they don't know I remembered, but I just act like I had no memory because they asked me, do you have any memory, anything you want to talk to us about? And I told them no, because I felt like if I agreed and told them, yeah, I remembered something, it was going to end badly, you understand? So I told them, no, I didn't remember nothing. I just passed out and woke up there and didn't remember nothing. I just act like I didn't remember, y'all. So listen, record this immediately, y'all. Keep it. I don't know how this going to play out, but y'all just keep it, you understand? I have a vivid memory of what took place during those 70 days that I was blacked out, okay? They took us somewhere underground in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, all right? And they put bags over our head. And they asked all of us questions that none of us could possibly know. They would ask us stuff, what's going on in Iraq, what's going on here, what's going on, yada, yada, yada. There would be 30 of us. All of us that got those answers correct, they would move us into a group of 15. Then they would ask us questions like, what happened here? What happens here? What's about to happen here? All of us that got those answers correct, they put us in a smaller group of 15. Then they asked more questions. Eventually, we got down to a group of 3. When they put us in the group of 3, I took a chance, y'all, and I ran for it. I broke through, you know what I'm saying, ran out the back way, and I saw we were at some facility hidden in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, okay? I am 13 Fox. They called us the Eyes of Death, or Death from Above. That's what my MOS was, you understand? But anyway, this is all me remembering what happened as a dream, but I remember this very vividly, what took place, but I didn't tell them I remembered because I felt like something was going to happen if I said that I remembered. So y'all please take this video, save it, okay? With that being said, they were spraying something in our faces that was making us go in and out of consciousness, you understand? Every time I went out, I would see from a bird's eye view down at the world, and I could literally pinpoint psychically where I saw something happening at a certain time when this happened, okay? And this program, y'all, immediately look this up for me, y'all. I'm about to give y'all the name of it, of what they were calling it. This was called the Delphi program, okay? And from what I understand, the reason they called it the Delphi program is because it had something to do with Delphi oracles. Something to do with Delphi oracles. I know this sounds crazy, y'all, but I'm just telling y'all straight up what happened to me. I got the paperwork here. It was called the Delphi program, and they was doing this to brothers, you know what I'm saying? And the Delphi program was using people like me to try and psychically spy on things we would no way and no how know about. What I found out, y'all, after I got out was I had developed something called sleep apnea. You guys have this. It's when you guys fall asleep and you can't move because you feel like some type of entity is holding you down. Don't look at that as fear, y'all, because this is something which is the entry phase until the other realm, if I can explain it to y'all. This realm is the access panel to everything around us where we are now, okay? In this realm, you can see things and know things without actually physically being there, but you're there in energy form. This is why I tell people everything is good, bad. Don't look at it as good as bad, look at it as negative, positive, okay? Good is good, sin is negative, you understand? But anyway, listen, back to where I was at. I snuck out with my results also. Check this out, it says, service medical records show March 15, 2004, show that you were seen for complaints of vomiting, stomach cramps, and chest pain. You were diagnosed with acute bronchitis and pericarditis. A chest x-ray showed that you had cardiomegaly, and you were referred for further testing. The EKG was normal. The echocardiogram, however, revealed the left atrium was at the upper limits of normal, and the pulmonic valve showed traces of pulmonic regurgitation, and the right atrium was at the upper limits of normal. This was requested by the Physical Standards Board. Y'all hear me? So now I've been diagnosed with whatever type of heart infection they done gave me, right? After this, y'all, anytime I go to sleep, my heart stops. Sleep apnea now, okay? For like 3 seconds. When those 3 seconds happen, to me, it's like 3 or 4 days, y'all understand? 3 or 4 days, and I'm literally consciously roaming around in the spirit realm, and I can see things before they happen. I know this sounds crazy, and I know they probably gonna take this down because it's gonna violate some kind of weird community guideline about not being able to post dreams, right? But I'm just giving it to y'all because I ain't got to tell nobody this, because back then we had M-Space, and M-Space wasn't capable of getting this type of information out. Y'all find out what the Delphi program was in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. They are still doing this program. They are searching for people with my type of ability, trying to use us for war purposes. Y'all understand? I can't even believe I'm putting this out there, man, but it's out there. Y'all got this. I'm gonna let y'all do it. You know what I'm doing? Y'all do research. What else should I say, man? What else I got to tell y'all quickly?
Throw out the white bread and eat the brown rice. That's the best way to lose weight and reduce inflammation and lower.
Now, anytime I go into the spirit realm and I hit that moment where I feel like I can't move, the words to unlock myself in the spirit realm are the words, I am that I am. This is how I became so faithful, y'all understand? I used the words, I am that I am, and immediately I became unlocked in the spirit realm, which is why I don't really stress about spiritual attacks, because I see them before they come. You understand? I know this sounds crazy, y'all, but y'all, it's 2025 now, and I feel like y'all can understand what I'm telling y'all. Sleep paralysis that y'all are all having is the beginning of y'all's gift activating. Those things that bug you in the middle of the night, those spirits or demons, whatever y'all call them, that come in and mess with you, they're harmless. Their job is to create fear. They create this fear and want you to wake up because they don't want you accessing the spiritual realm. So their sole purpose is to scare you into waking back up. Do y'all understand? They don't want y'all there because you're going to access information that's only out there for the elite. You understand? So these shadow people are the police of the spiritual realm. They want y'all to wake up because they don't want y'all activating. They don't want y'all having this gift. Y'all understand? Not understand. Do y'all understand what I'm telling y'all? I got all kinds of stuff going on in the background around my head, man. Y'all excuse me, I got energies going crazy right now. I'm out here in the field, man, behind my business. But listen, y'all, it's more to... Oh, man, I probably done got myself in trouble, bro. Y'all just save this record, man.
Man, well, he asked the right community.
Yeah, Flying Low. It's crazy. So I definitely want to look more into it. I was trying to find this guy, but I can't find him. I think he's about to say his name.
You research this. Shout out to the Odd Topics with Donnell. Sounded like he was asking.
The Higher Topics with Donnell. I tried to look it up and I couldn't find it. And it looks like he's on TikTok or something, but I don't have TikTok. So it is what it is. You know what? I kind of don't want to just leave us hanging with that. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm kind of tired. We're gonna do something else. Pass out. This is Disagreeable. I'm Disagreeable. Excuse me. Shout out to everybody. Hit the like button. And we are